Cuemath has taken an initiative to take up these master classes for all the grade levels from 1st to 10th standard so that a student could master on these topics. Also, these Olympiad sessions would help them to improve on their reasoning skills and analytical skills. Also, it helps the students to think in a very innovative approach. With this, I would quickly like to introduce myself. This is Trishita Majumdar here, and I'm a teacher expert at Cuemath. My teaching experience is 4 years, and I take up subjects mathematics and reasoning for students from India and US. Now with this, let's go ahead and check the table of contents. So let's begin with our table of contents. We would be understanding what's direction sense, applications of direction sense in day-to-day life, objectives, problems, and learning outcomes. Before I take you to the definition of direction sense, I would be showing you a very important quote which I thought would definitely help you in understanding direction sense with the help of a real-time example. So let's see what's this. In fact, maps would be of little use to someone who lacked altogether a sense of direction. We need a sense of direction even to find our way around the map and then to orient the map to our immediate environment. What does this exactly mean? Have you ever used Google Maps? And if so, you must have seen that if you're at a position and if you want to go to a location, and if you aren't very sure whether it's towards your front or back or left or right, the immediate positioning cannot be given by your map. So the quotation means that even for a Google map to work, you have to have a basic sense of direction. That's how you would be orienting the map to its destination and direction. That's how the map is going to guide you. But the first call is yours. On which side would you be moving ahead with, right? So with this, let me take you to the definition of direction sense. A candidate's ability to identify the direction with respect to a person who has moved in different directions from his original position. So this is what is meant by direction sense. So we must be capable enough to understand on which direction is a person moving at, or which direction do we have to go forward with. Basic knowledge of direction, basic knowledge of turning a left, right, basic knowledge of terminologies of directions. All these are few things which is important for us to know to go ahead with direction sense. Now, let me go ahead and let's start with something very interesting. So I'm sure that you all are going to have your views on it. Let's see. What would you choose? Here goes your question. So this is not something which is catered to mathematics, I would say. This is something which completely depends upon your call. I want all of you to look through the question and give your comments on the comment section. And I would be definitely be eager to see all of your comments and your priorities on what do you basically give your preference to. Is it your hunger or is it your food choice, I would say. So let's see what does it say. You are super hungry. You are a pizza lover. It takes 30 minutes to drive to Domino's if you go 3 kilometers straight and 2 kilometers right from the dead end. However, due to road closure at the dead end, you have to walk to reach the location. You end up seeing McD soon after you walk for half a kilometer. What would you prefer? Burger at McD or pizza at Domino's? Okay, so for this, let me just quickly look at all of your comments on the comment section. Let me just wait for a while and see what are the comments I'm getting. Okay. So I see that few of you are giving preference to your hunger, whichever comes in front of you, whether out of McD and Domino's, it doesn't matter. It's all about, going and eating something. And for few of you, it's very important for you to choose your food, right? You're very particular on what you want to prefer eating. So these are the two categories of people I would basically expect. And that's what I can see as well. Let's see what's the maximum responses on. Okay. Yes, everybody can respond, all of you. I want to see maximum responses on what do you want to choose on. Is it a burger from McD or pizza from Domino's? Well, if you have to ask me, for me, hunger is important. It doesn't matter whatever the food is. So I am a kind of a person that hunger is something which is of major priority, and I would choose the one which comes in front of me first. Okay, all right. So this was a fun part. Let's see how do we go about this. So definitely this question does not have a specific answer. It all depends upon your perception and priorities. But still, let me just try to show you what did I exactly want to show you from this question. The question said that it would take 30 minutes to drive to Domino's. And in 30 minutes, what's the total distance covered? 3 kilometers straight and 2 kilometers right to the dead end. So overall 5 kilometers. That means from my present location, Domino's is basically 5 kilometers. But then due to all the foundations and circumstances, I couldn't drive and so on. But then the major point to pick out from here is that after 3 kilometers, when I got down off my vehicle, I started walking towards the right. And I saw that within half a kilometer, there was McD. What does this suggest? Which one comes first? Is it McD or is it Domino's? From here, we understand that McDonald's is the one which comes faster, right? Because after 3 kilometers, 0.5 kilometer more. So it means at 3.5 kilometer, you have a McD. Whereas to reach till Domino's, you need to cover 1.5 kilometers more, right? So this is where your priority comes in. Whether you would like to walk 1.5 kilometers more to reach till Domino's, or would you like to prefer McD? Yeah? So anyways, good thing to see a lot of responses. With this, I would like to discuss some of the major applications of direction sense. So let's go ahead and see them. Here goes our applications. So direction sense is very important for navigation. So you must be aware of the ships and the aeroplanes which majorly depend upon navigation. So direction is very, very important in, navigating. Coming to the next one, maps. Yes, nothing is possible without direction. Maps is something which is completely based on the principle of direction. So direction hence plays a very, very major role in terms of maps as well. So going ahead with weather forecast, yes, weather forecast is again something wherein direction plays a very important role. For example, let's say that when you have a weather forecast of cyclone coming in, or if there's a tsunami, if there's any kind of thunderstorm. So all of these are decided based on the direction of the wind. So the direction is a measurement which gives us the intensity of how strong is the wind wave going to be. Okay, so again, in weather forecast, direction is very, very important. Going ahead with the next one, determining routes. That's like, I would say, the most basic thing which we understand from direction. So direction is something which helps us to get into the shortest route as well. And therefore, in a way, it also helps us to manage our time. So time management is one of the factors which becomes like, an application of direction. So these are the applications of direction sense. And I hope all of you are watching the session, and we are now soon going to start with our questions. So please stay tuned and do not leave the session, as we are going to have good level of questions along with advanced problems. Let's go ahead and see. So here goes our objectives for today. We are majorly going to focus on the main directions and the cardinal directions. Now, first of all, let's understand what do we mean by main directions and cardinal directions. When we talk about main directions, if you aren't aware of this, let me let you know, main directions are judged on which basis? So, we always consider sun as the reference. Directions, all of these, north, south, east, west, with respect to what are we telling all these directions? It's sun. Always the directions are decided with respect to sun. This is how the directions were invented. So keeping sun as the major reference, we talk about the top part of the sun, you could say north, the down part of it is the south, the left of it is west, and the right of it is east. Okay, so this is how we are going to go about the directions. And these are the 4 major directions which we could talk about. You could also take an example of India map. You could take the north, south, east, west, which we've been studying right from our young age. So that's again another example. Coming to the next one, that is cardinal directions. So what's cardinal directions? So apart from these four directions that we have seen, we also have something else called as cardinal directions. So cardinal directions are something which lies between these four major directions. So you could see these diagonal lines which are passing from the center. So when I talk about these diagonal lines, you could say that this one is basically northwest. Why? Because this is a line which is lying between north and west, and hence it's known as northwest. Similarly, this is known as northeast. This goes as southwest and southeast. Okay. So we are going to have our problems categorized into these two set of categories. One is the main direction problems, one is the cardinal directions, and then we'll have advanced problems. So with this, let's go ahead and proceed with our first question. All of you can read the question and give a try. So before I display the options, I want all of you to try on this and let's see who gets the right answer to it. Yes, I want to see maximum comments on the comment section. And also, I would request all of you to also give your approaches. Let's say that you've got right answer to a question. You could also, brief on your approach on how did you arrive till there. It would also help others to get a hint or, get an initiation to do the question for people who are not able to proceed. And anyways, I'm also helping you out to go ahead with it. Okay, so now let's look into the options as well. So here goes our options. So all of you who have already solved the question can verify your answer from the options. Okay, so let's see here. What is it about? So we could see that there is a crossing of four perpendicular roads in a city. So that means I could say that there has to be a crossing of four perpendicular roads. Okay, so I have made the roads here. The roads end to a museum, a theater. So I'm marking the keywords here. Museum, theater, school, and a temple. The temple ends in the north. Okay, so we have got one hint to the question. Let me first mark the north, south, east, and west. This is north, this is south, this is west, and this is east. And we have been told that the temple is on the north side of this junction. So I could say that my temple basically lies here. Going ahead, one observes that if he comes on the crossing from the temple, the road to right ends in the museum. What does this exactly mean? That means there's some random person. Let's say that there's some random person A who is coming towards the crossing. What do I mean by crossing? Crossing is basically O. So I'm assuming my point O to be the crossing. So there's some person A who's coming from the temple to the crossing, and when he's coming in this direction, they say that the road to right ends in the museum. That means this person's right would be the museum. So how are we going to check this person's right? So if the person is facing towards the crossing direction, then the right of the person would be this and the left of the person would be this. So basically, I can say that the right of this particular person A is nothing but our west direction, right? So towards the west, we have the museum. And with that, I'm going to write it down here. So we have the museum here. And now let's look for more hints. The road to the left ends in the theater. We know that the left of this person A is nothing but towards the east. And in the east, now we know that we have the theater. So here is the theater. So the one which is straightforward is nothing but the school. So I could say towards the south, it's nothing but the school. And now the question is, in which direction is the theater? So I could say that my theater is nothing but towards the east. So this was a question which was completely based on your main direction. I hope the question was clear to all of you. So this is how you keep the references. So I would recommend that all of you could go ahead and try drawing them, because the more diagrammatical representation you have, the easier the question becomes, rather than going ahead with an approach which you try to just think about. Okay? So let's go ahead with our second question. Study the information given below carefully and answer the question that follows. 5 students, so there are in total 5 students who are facing east are sitting in a classroom as described below. So we are going to make an arrangement according to the given statements, and then we are going to finally respond to this question. So before I go ahead and display the options to all of you, I want all of you to give it a try, and then we are going to see what's the actual answer. Alright, so for all of you who are not able to proceed with it, let me show you how would you approach with this. Naresh is 3 meters to the east of Mukesh. So let's do one thing. Let's fix Mukesh's position somewhere here. And knowing that the convention is north, south, west and east, whenever we have an object, east would always be towards the right of the object, west would be towards the left, north would be on the top and south would be downwards. Okay. So if Naresh is 3 meters towards the east, as in it would be towards the right hand side of Mukesh, and the distance is nothing but 3 meters, right? And now coming to the second statement, Suresh is 5 meters. This time Suresh is 5 meters to the west of Naresh. Now we have changed our reference. Naresh, with respect to Naresh, Suresh is at the west, correct? So if I have to check for Naresh's west would be towards the left hand side. By how much? By 5 meters. By 5 meters as in it would go somewhere here, right? So this is what I could say. This is 5 meters. And so I could say that from here to here, it's already 3, right? We all know that. So from here to here, it's already 3 because between Mukesh and Naresh, there's a 3 meter distance. So for the extra 2 meter, I could say that Suresh could also be told to lie at the west of Mukesh by 2 meters. This is just the reframing of the sentence. So if Suresh is at 5 meters towards the west of Naresh, I could also say that Suresh is 2 meters from Mukesh to the west of Mukesh. Okay, so I could say this is Suresh's position. I hope everybody is clear with it. How did I get this as 2 meters? It's because total is 5 and this much amount, the distance between Mukesh and Naresh is already 3. So the remaining would be 2. So I'll just erase this. So based on this, let's go ahead with our next statement. So Harsh is 4 meters to the north of Munesh. So now there's some new person called Munesh. I do not know where is Harsh, neither I know Munesh, nor do I have Munesh in either of these references. So I cannot place them as of now. So let's keep the third statement pending for now. Okay. Let's go ahead with the fourth one. Maybe we could get some better hint. Okay. Mukesh is 1 meter to the south of Harsh. Okay. So Mukesh is located towards the south of Harsh. We know that south is nothing but downwards. So Mukesh should definitely be towards the downwards of Harsh. And the distance by which he is downwards is nothing but 1 meter. Right? So from here, I could say that Harsh is 4 meters to the north of Munesh. So Harsh should lie above Munesh. Only then it becomes the north of Munesh, right? So can I say that Munesh could be placed somewhere down here? And since Harsh is totally 4 meters towards the north of Munesh, and we know that this distance is already 1 meter, so what would the remaining distance become? The remaining distance would become 3 meters. So that 3 plus 1, it becomes 4. I hope this is clear to all of you. The diagram making is the major part and then it becomes very simple. Now let's look into the question that's told to us. If Suresh and Harsh interchange their places, as in Harsh is here and Suresh is here, so Harsh would go here and Suresh will come to Harsh's position, right? Then who is towards the west of Mukesh? That means if Harsh is shifted here, so this position would be given to Harsh. And who would be towards the west of Mukesh? It's very obvious that initially it was Suresh who was at the west of Mukesh, and after interchanging the places, it would be Harsh who would be towards the west of Mukesh. So here goes our options. Naresh, Suresh, Harsh and Munesh, and therefore the correct option to this would be nothing but Suresh. Suresh? Any answers? Would it be Suresh? No, it will not be Suresh. It would be Harsh. Why?
because we have interchanged Suresh's and Harsh's position. Okay, so hence option C would be the right answer. So I'm very happy to see all the correct answers. Whoever has given option C as the answer, very good. Anybody who has got the incorrect answer to this, no worries, that's completely okay. You're still in the learning phase, so I'm sure that you're going to get the grip of these kind of questions very soon. So with this, let's go ahead with our next question. So here goes our next question. So it is again a sub part of the previous one. Okay. So you would basically not need to reconstruct the diagram. We already know the measurements. So we are just going to quickly make the diagram. Okay. So all of you can go through the question, and I would also be displaying the options. Here goes the options. So this is something to do with the distance. Okay. And before going ahead with it, let me again quickly make the diagram here. So yes, we had Mukesh here, and then we had towards this side, we had Naresh, who was towards the east. Naresh was at how many meters? Naresh was at 3 meters. And then we had Suresh here, right? So the diagram should not be after the interchanging. It should be before interchanging, because before interchanging is the one which was the final diagram. Okay. So Suresh was at 2 meters, and we know that Harsh was at this position. And here we had Munesh, right? So let me also mark the distances of Harsh. This was 1 meter and Munesh was at 3 meters. Okay. So based on this, let's look into what's the question that's being asked. If another boy walked from Harsh, that means from Harsh's position, there's some boy who is walking, met Mukesh as in he's walking in this direction, followed by Suresh. Then he walked in this direction, and then by Naresh. So from Suresh he has to go to Naresh, but we don't know which path is he taking up, right? Then at least by how many meters has he walked if he could travel only horizontally and vertically? So from here, can I say that if he has to just go horizontally and vertically, so this is vertical from Harsh to Mukesh, and Mukesh to Suresh is again horizontal. But how about Suresh to Naresh? How would I travel back to Naresh? Since they have clearly mentioned that he could only go in horizontal and vertical direction, therefore I cannot take any other way. I have to turn back from here. After meeting Suresh, the boy turns back and then he goes in this way, right? So this is where he ends up. So what exactly is happening? We are going to count all the arrows here. So the first distance is from Harsh to Mukesh, which is nothing but 1. And then from Mukesh to Suresh, which was nothing but 2. And then we had Suresh to Mukesh again, which is 2. And then we had Mukesh to Naresh, which was 3. So we have 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8 meters. And hence, option B is the right answer. I hope the question was clear to all of you, and I am hoping that all of you are enjoying the session. So please do share it with your friends and your kids' friends if you're liking the session, and also do give your feedback on the comment section. And if you also have any queries on any question, please do not get disappointed. You can all give your queries and post your queries on the comment section, and we would be reverting to it. So with this, let's go ahead and check out our next question. Okay, so a river flows west to east and on the way turns left to go in a semicircle round a hillock and then turns left in a right angle. In which direction is the river finally flowing, right? So from here, let's try to make a diagram out of it. So the diagram out of it, how would it look like? A river flows from west to east. So I know that this is how my convention is. This is north, this is south, this is west, and this is east. Okay. And the river is flowing from west to east. Okay. In this direction. And then it's told on the way it turns left and goes in a semicircle round a hillock. So that means from this east, the river is turning towards the left. Left side from east direction would be basically topwards, right? And it is going in a semicircular flow which is covering round the hillock, right? And this is the semicircular motion which the river is following. And then what's being told? After this, if you notice, it's told, and then turns left in a right angle. So at this position, the river's right side would be this and the left side would be this, right? So left side would be downwards direction, and it is turning at a right angle, as in it's exactly at this position, right? So it's turning in this way and it's flowing again. In which direction is the river finally flowing? So we know that this would keep flowing in this direction, and as per convention, this is nothing but the south direction. I hope this was clear. So this is the 90-degree angle formation. I hope this was a clear enough question. Please do not get confused with the left and right that's being mentioned. At each and every point when they are talking about going right or going left, analyze that at this position, what would the left or right be? Okay? Imagine yourself to be at that position. So when I say the river was at east, so assume yourself to be facing towards the east, and then imagine which would be your left and right. So here this was the left of east and this was the right of the east. But when it came to this direction, and now the face towards which it is facing is this, and the right would be on top and left would be below. I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay, so with this, here goes our next question. Study the following information carefully and answer the question given below. Okay, so before I display the options, I want all of you to go through the question and give a try. And for others, I'm just taking you through the question and we'll try to figure out how do we go about it. So let me mark some important points that's given here. Point D is, so you can see that point D. So always remember, there's a key factor to such kind of questions. If a question mentions that there are 5 objects, or let's say, let's say there are 5 members or 5 letters, it's very easy for us to know that the number of objects present are these many. But let's say that there's a question which does not say you about the number of objects present in the whole scenario. Then what do? We look into the statements, we encircle how many objects are there, so that we would get a clear picture on how many objects or how many members needs to be arranged. Okay? Well, from here I could see that there is D here, there is A here, and there is E, there's G, there's C, and we have F as well, and we have B as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically we have A to G happening here, right? From point A to point G. Okay? Let's see. Point D is 14 meters towards the west of point A. So I would be giving you the convention. This is the convention. This is north, south, west and east. Okay? So when we are assuming since the reference is given with respect to point A, so I'm writing down point A here. So let me just write down point A here. Yes. And with respect to point A, point D is at 14 meters. So let's say that 14 meters is somewhere and towards the west. The west of A would be basically the left hand side of A, right? So this is point D and we know that this whole length is 14, right? So I could say this whole length is 14 meters. And then it's told point B is 4 meters towards the south of point D. So south of point A would be where? It would be downwards of point D, right? And point B is nothing but, it's at the south of point D and the distance is nothing but 4 meters. Point F is 9 meters towards the south of point D, right? So here if you see, B was at a distance of 4 meters and F is at a distance of 9 meters, and both of these point B and F are towards the south of point D. That means the total distance of F from D is nothing but 9. But we have already covered 4 here. So what's the remaining? The remaining is nothing but 5 meters. Okay. So this is my point F. And then we have point E is 7 meters towards the east of point B. So east of point B would basically be the right hand side of point B. And 7 meters would exactly be halfway through, right? So I could say that at this point we have point E lying, and we could say this is 7 meters. So this is also 7 meters. Okay. After this, let's see what's the next thing given. Point C is 4 meters towards the north of point D. point E is here and north of point E would basically be the topwards direction, and point C is 4 meters, and we know that from B to D the distance is 4, so it's very obvious that from E to C also the distance would become 4 itself, and it forms a rectangle. Okay, so this becomes 7 meter again, as the total is 14. Now point G is 4 meter towards the south of point A. So point G is 4 meters towards the south. Since they have told it south, so it should lie in the downward direction. Okay. Which of the following points are in a straight line? Well, could anybody answer? Let's see. Here goes the options. Okay. So out of these, let's see DEA. DEA. No, not happening. EGB. EGB. Yes. If you see E, G and B are the one which are on the straight line. DBG. DBG. No. EGC. E, G and C. Again, not happening. So the only possibility is nothing but B, E, G, which are on the straight line. So 1, 2, 3. I hope that's clear. Hence option B is the right answer to this. So awesome to all the candidates who've got the right answer. Please keep solving the questions in the same enthusiasm and dedication, I would say, and you would be perfect with the topic. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. So this was our last question for our first objective, that is the main direction. With this, we would go ahead with our cardinal directions. So everybody ready for it? Let's go. So here goes our second objective, cardinal direction. Let's look into the question here. The question says X and Y are at the same distance from Z, but X is towards northeast of Z and Y is towards the southeast of Z. In which direction of Y does X lie? Before I take you to this question, I would like to make a diagram for you. Okay? Before I do anything, let's just wait for some responses on the comment section. Let's see who is giving the correct answer, and then as soon as I display the options on the whiteboard, all of you could map it up. Done? Here goes your options. Now, all of you could check and map up your options with it. And yes, before I take you to this question, I would again like to mention the conventions here. So here goes our conventions. Please notice carefully. So this is how we would be going ahead with our conventions. This is north, this is south, this is west, and this is east, which was the same as our main direction. This would become northwest, this would become northeast, this would become southwest, and this is nothing but southeast. We had already discussed about cardinal directions right in the beginning of our introduction before we started with the questions. But again, I have put down the diagram here so that we could use this up for our present question. Okay. Now let's see here. X and Y are at the same distance from Z. So let's say that Z is at this point. Okay. Or, we can point Z here. And X is towards the northeast. So just assume Z is towards the center. Then where would the northeast be? The northeast would be exactly in this way, right? So X is to the northeast of Z and Y is towards the southeast. Where is the southeast? Southeast is diagonally downwards. So this is nothing but Y. But I know that the distance between ZX and ZY is the same. In which direction of Y does X lie? In which direction of Y does X lie? So if you notice here, in which direction of Y? So here this is Y, which they are asking you to make the reference as. And with respect to the reference of Y, in which direction does X lie? So what would this be? So with respect to Y, X is nothing but towards the north direction. Is this clear to all of you? Yeah, I hope the question was clear enough. So towards the north of Y, X is lying. Hence, option A is the right answer. Okay. So, I hope the question was clear enough and simple enough. So this is how you use cardinal direction questions. Keep the reference diagram next to you. Things will become way easier. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and check out our second question. Here goes our second question. A clock strikes 3 p.m. and its hour hand points to southwest. Then at 5 p.m. to which direction will the minute hand point? Okay. So for this question, I am going to give you the options soon enough. But before that, I'm again going to draw the diagram. So here goes our diagram. So I'm going to make the cardinal structure with me. So here it is. The reason why I'm making this is I would try to locate my hour hand and the minute hand as per the given directions. Okay. So according to this, we have this as north, we have this as south, we have this as west, east, and then we have this as northwest. This is northeast, and then we have southwest, and this is southeast. And it's told that, and let's say that, the clock is this. This is my clock. Just assume this. This is my clock. Okay? And it's told that a clock strikes 3 p.m. and its hour hand points to southwest. Our hand points at southwest. That means, what could we say? So let me just show you. Southwest would be at which direction? Southwest is this. So can I say that our hand is, just a second. So if our hand is at this position, right? That means I could say this is 3. This is 3 currently. Only at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. the hour hand will definitely point at 3, right? And it's told that it is at southwest direction. So I could say that this is 3. So where would the minute hand lie? Definitely at 12, which is nothing but forming a 90 degree. And that's nothing but at southeast direction. This is how I figured it out. I hope everybody is clear with this on how did I do it. Since our hand is pointing out at southwest direction, and we know that our hand will definitely point at 3 itself when it's at 3 p.m. So this is at southwest, and we have the minute hand at the southeast direction. So this is a 90 degree. So we know that whether it's 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 p.m. doesn't matter. The minute hand will definitely lie at 12 itself, right? So any time they give you, the minute hand will definitely lie at 12 at their exact hours. So which direction will the minute hand point to? So now goes your options. All of you can map it up. So it's nothing but southeast. So we have our option, that is nothing but option A. I hope that was clear enough to all of you. This was a pretty good question and easy as well. So let's go ahead and check out our next question. So here goes our next question. Two students, Ram and Shyam, 10 meters apart, are standing on a horizontal line. Both of them run the same distance towards northeast. They again travel equal distance in the south. How far is Ram now from Shyam? Okay. So before going ahead with this, I would want all of you to take your pen and notebooks and try to draw the figure out of it, because drawing the figure is the only way which is going to help you out with such kind of questions. Okay. So I myself am going to draw the figure here, and before that I would also like to give you the options. So all of you can give a try and let me know which is the correct option from here. So here goes our diagram. Let's mark the keywords Ram and Shyam, and they are 10 meters apart. So I'm taking Ram to be here and I'm taking Shyam to be here, and I know that they are 10 meters apart. So this distance is nothing but 10. Now from here, it's told that both of them are running at the same distance towards northeast. Where would northeast be? Northeast would basically be in this direction as per the convention. So let's say that Ram has ran till a distance of point A towards the northeast, and Shyam has also ran towards northeast till, let's say, point B. Okay. And from here, they again travel an equal distance to the south. That means from here, if I have to travel towards the south, where would it be? It would exactly be down. So that means it's somewhere here. So let's say this is point X, and let's say that Shyam has also traveled to the south by the same distance, and let's say this is point Y. Okay. So now how far is Ram now from Shyam? So I'm supposed to figure out what is the distance between XY, right? So what is the distance between XY? So let's do one thing. For this, let's join this line AB. As we all can see, ABSR basically forms a type of structure. Can anybody tell me what kind of geometrical shape is ABSR framing? Any responses? Well, very good. It's nothing but it's a parallelogram. So ABSR is a parallelogram, and as per the properties of parallelogram, we know that opposite sides are parallel and equal. So if the length of RS is 10 meters, what would the length of AB become? This would also become 10 meters. So we could say that RS is equal to AB, which is nothing but equals to 10 meter, right? And now if you notice this figure AXYB, so can anybody tell me what is AXYB? AXYB, what kind of geometrical shape is it? This is again a rectangle. And what's the property of rectangle? Opposite sides are equal. So if AB's length is 10 meter, what would XY become? AB would become equal to XY, and that's nothing but equal to 10 meters. So this is again 10 meters. Okay? And hence option B is the right answer, because at this position, at this point, X and Y are at 10 meters. Okay? So I hope the question was clear to all of you. And if you have any queries, do post it on the comment section, and we would be definitely reverting back to it. So I hope there was no issue with any part of it. With this, we are going to go ahead with our advanced level questions. So before I take you to the advanced level questions, I would quickly like to make an announcement about the TUCO. So all of you who are already registered, so for you, all of you could recommend it to your friends if you are enjoying the sessions. And for everybody else, let me just let you know that we have our TUCO registration forms, which is already there in the description link. You can click on that, register for the examination, which is just 200 rupees. And it's for all the grade level, right from grade 1 to grade 10th. So all of you can appear for it, and along with it, you're going to get a course curriculum provided by Cuemath, which would be provided along with this registration, worth 5,000 rupees. So you're getting 5,000 rupees curriculum just for 200 rupees. So isn't that a great news? So do not delay, go ahead and register today. Let's go ahead and start with our advanced questions. So here goes our first advanced level question. So I would want all of you to have patience and read the question well, and then go ahead and try this out. So it said that Rishu started walking towards east from a point X, walked 250 meters and reached the point P. Again, he turned south, walked 50 meters and reached point Q. Alright. So they have given us a lot of description. I wouldn't suggest you to do the whole thing at once. So let me quickly display the options as well if any of you have already done it. You could check out the options. So here goes our approach to this. Rishu. So let's say that, this is Rishu. He starts walking towards the east from point X. So let's say this is point X and he is walking towards the east. And we know that east of any object is nothing but the right hand side of that particular object. So east is this, and by how much distance does he walk? He walked for 250 meters, right? And he reached that point P. So this is point P. And from point P, he turned towards the south. We know that south of any object is nothing but downwards. And downwards, for how many meters did he walk by? Basically 50 meters. So can I say this is nothing but 50, right? And he reached at point Q, right? And then what's he doing? He again turned towards east. That means from this position, he's again going towards the right of Q. That's how it is east. And he walked for 250 meters once again and reached at the point R. So this is the point R. And from here, he again turns south and walked for 50 meters. So he's repeating the same over and over process for 2 times. So see here, this is how the structure would look like. So walk 50 meters and reached point S. What is the shortest distance between X and S? So this is X and this is S. It's very obvious that to calculate the total distance between X and S, we have a lot of ways. But we need to focus to the question that it's asking for the shortest distance. Okay. Now, forget about the blue region. Think about the pink region. What if I join X and Q? If I join X and Q, how would it look like? This is nothing but a right angle triangle. And we know that the shortest shortest distance between any two points is nothing but it is always the diagonal distance, or you could say the hypotenuse is the shortest distance here. So if I could find out the length of xq, the total distance from x to s, that is the shortest distance between x to s, would be nothing but xq plus qs. And since the dimensions of the other sides of the triangle are the same, therefore I could say that xq is also equal to qs, right? I hope this question was clear to all of you. Now, what's the next thing which we need to do? The next thing which we need to focus upon is the calculation of these two units, that is xq and qs. So, if we can actually figure out the value of xq, qs would be the same as xq. So, we need to apply Pythagoras theorem to the triangle xpq. Now, let's apply Pythagoras theorem to the triangle xpq and see how do we get the value of xq. Alright, so with this, I would be taking you to the next page. Let's try this out on the next page. Here goes. Yes. So I would again like to write it down. We had, so the diagram somewhat looked like this, right? So this is how it was. Okay. So this was 250, this was 50, and this was again 250, and this was again 50, right? So let's apply Pythagoras theorem to this. So we know that it would become, let's say this is x, so this would also be x, right? So let me only take ABC. Just take random triangle ABC. So x squared would be AB squared plus BC squared, which is nothing but 250 squared plus 50 squared. So according to this, x squared would give me any solving part? Yes, all of you, please post it on the comment section. Instead of getting the final answers, I would recommend all of you to give the intermediate steps and approaches, which is going to be very, very beneficial. Okay. So this would become 625. So basically 62,500, and this would become 2,500. And from here, I could say this is nothing but 0, 0, 5. So 65,000. So we have to figure out the square root of 65,000. We do not know what's the square root of this. So I would be preferring the long division method. Okay. So let's go ahead and try out the long division method for 65,000. So this is my 65,000. Let's pair it up. I hope, and I'm guessing that all of you are already aware of what long division method is. It's a method to calculate the square root of a given number. It could either be used for perfect squares or imperfect squares, anything. Okay. Let's go ahead. So let's find the nearest square number to 6. It's nothing but 4. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then we have a 2 here. And now we would be getting the next pair down, which is 50. 2 plus 2 is 4. So let's check out the next thing. We need to do some rough calculation. 45 times 5 would give us 225. So I can go ahead with 5. So 5 minus 225. So you would be getting 25 as the result, and then you get the next pair of zeros down here. 45 plus 5 is 50. Now we again need to do some calculations. Let's check out with 505 times 5. So this will become 2, and this is 2525. Well, no, this is not working. Let's try out with 504. So 4 times 4 is 16. So 2016. 504, and here we have a 4. 2016. Since we still have a remainder down, we are going to append more zeros here. So let's see. This is 4. So this would become 484, and the appended zeros are brought down, and this would become 504 plus 4, which is 508, and we would have a point here because we have appended the zeros. Okay. So now from here, let's check out 508. 508, let's say that, let's try it out with 9 times 9. So 9 times 9 is 81. This would become 80. So we have, yes, 45801. So this is somehow giving me an approximate value of 254.9. So this is enough for us to go ahead with it. The reason why I am telling you to stop it here is, Now you have an approximate idea about the value of x. So this is somewhere nearly equal to 254.9. So from here, I could say that the total distance between this point and let's say this is some point x would be nothing but x plus x. That is 254.9 plus 254.9. This would approximately give me the value of 4 plus 4, 8, 9 and then 0 and 509.8 meters. Let's check if we have some approximate value which is matching up with this. If so, then that would be our correct answer. I hope the process was clear to all of you. Anybody who did not understand on the procedure, please comment it on the comment section. We'll be reverting back to it. And also, I would recommend you all to go through your core math to understand the concepts of long division method and the other parts of mathematics such as Pythagoras theorem and so on in a better way. Okay, let's go ahead. So this would be the last question of the advanced level, and with this we would be winding up our session with our learning outcomes. Let's look into the question. A cyclist started his journey towards some direction. After covering 5 kilometers, he turned to the left of him and covered 3 kilometers. So let's do one thing. Let's divide these kind of questions into bits by bits, and simultaneously we'll start drawing our diagrams as well. Okay. So let me just draw the diagrams, and before that, for everybody who is able to do it, here are the options for you. All of you can go through the options and map your answer with it to check if you've got the right answer or not. Okay, so let's see here. A cyclist started his journey towards some direction after covering 5 kilometers. So let's say that the cyclist was at this position. So he covered a distance of let's say 5 kilometers and he is at this position. So after that, after 5 kilometers, he turned towards the left of him and covered 3 kilometers. So at this position, if he has to turn left, it would be this side, right? Not this side. So left by 3 kilometers. So this is nothing but 3. This was 5, right? He again turned to the left. So again, from this position, which would be the left of the cyclist, down or top, the top would be the right and down would be the left. So this is the left, and how much distance did he cover? He covered a distance of basically 2 kilometers. So here it is. He again turned to the left and covered a distance of 2 kilometers. So from here to here it's 2. He then turned to the right and covered 2 kilometers. From this position, which one would be his right? Would it be towards his this side or this side? Which one would be his right? That's very important to understand. So when he's facing downwards, his right hand side should definitely be on this side, right? On this side, he has covered 2 kilometers again. I hope this was clear to all of you. So it's very important to check the right and left of the cyclist at each and every point he's landing to. Okay? That's very important. So he then turned to the right and covered 2 kilometers. He again turned to the right. So from here, again, if he has to turn to the right, that means which side would he be going? Now he's currently at this position. So if he's going to the right, that means where would he be going? Would he be going downwards or upwards? It would definitely be upwards, right? And since this was 2, so the 5 kilometers would be somewhere here, right? So this is 5. He has gone upwards, which is the right of the cyclist. Okay. At last, he turned to the right and cycled a distance of 5 kilometers. Cycled a distance of 5 kilometers. Now, as you all can see, this is 2. This is 2 and this is 3. Correct? So the total combination from here to here would be 5, 2 plus 3. So I can say that he has come to the right and he has landed here, which is nothing but overall 5 kilometers. Right? So now it's asking for how far was he at the end point from the starting point. So you have to compare this. Let's say this is x and this is y, the total distance between x and y. Let's say this is some point z. So from x to z it is 5. From z to y, how do we figure it out? If you see from here to here, this is 5, right? Correct? And from this to this is 2. Let's say this is AB. Let's say this is AB. And let's say this is CD. So CD is 5 and AB is 2. So definitely if you have to just calculate this distance, it would basically become the difference between CD and AB. for 5 minus 3, which would be nothing but 3. So the total distance between x and y would become 5 plus 3, and that's equal to 8. Hence, he is at 8 kilometer distance. I hope that was a very good question. So it's all about how you look into the question, how do you draw the pictures, where do you understand the sense of direction. That's why the topic is named as direction sense, right? Okay, so thanks a lot for attending the session. I hope you all did enjoy, and if you have any queries, then please do post it on the comment section. We'll be reverting back to it. Now with this, let's go ahead with our learning outcomes for today. So we have understood the importance of understanding directions. Yes, we have understood with a lot of applications and real-time examples as well. Discussing strategies to use to follow directions accurately. Now, I would like to again let you know about the TUCO registration. So the registration link is given in the description box. Please go ahead, click on the link and register. So you will have a real-time experience to the Olympiad examination. Also, along with it, you are going to get a course curriculum provided by Cuemath, which is worth 5,000 rupees just for 200 rupees. So do not delay, go ahead and register today. So with this, I will be winding up our session for today. Thanks a lot for attending. Do give your feedback on the comment section on how did you enjoy the session, and please do recommend it to your friends and